For ACUSports.com, I'm Grant Boone as we talk a little Wildcat football. Finally, spring ball is upon us with head coach Ken Collums. How many redos of the schedule have you done?
3 times.
Yeah,
3 times.
Because of the weather?
Because of the weather. Unusual weather that we've all experienced all across the country, but here in the big country, it's been quite interesting. But we've got a string of some pretty days here, so we're about to crank it up.
And explain to folks what you were telling me earlier. This isn't random. You have to adjust your schedule to maximize your opportunities because the number of practices you get and the number of actual days, the duration of spring ball is mandated, isn't it, by the NCAA?
Yes. Once the start date is what is critical. Once you start practice, you have 34 calendar days to get it in, to get in 15 practices. So that's why we bumped our start date 3 different times, and because it is critical. Now, once you start, hey, you just got to deal with the weather and you got to roll with it.
But you get 15 practices, so you can't say, well, hey, the weather was bad, so extend our 34. The 34 is set, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. And you know, it's spring practices in quality with quality weather. That's like gold. I mean, that's when you really develop your team and you develop each individual, which is the goal of spring practice. It's not to win on Saturday. It's to simply develop each individual.
Well, we've seen over the last several years, I've heard you say it before, Mitchell Gale, John David Baker, Parker McKenzie, just in the quarterback spot, made huge leaps in spring ball that they probably couldn't have made had they not been here. And you've said many times the difference between a redshirt player and a guy who comes in just in August is enormous, isn't it? And it's that redshirt season that includes spring ball that's so big.
That's right. It's not even close. When the first semester for any of these guys coming in August it's the hardest semester of their lives, and especially as a quarterback, there's so much demanded of you that a lot of people can't do it. And so you want a red shirt. You want guys to study and to physically grow and mature and learn how to study for a biology test and to do that properly. But the spring, by the spring, they're ready to compete. I mean, they haven't. It's the first time they've sat out in their entire career. So they're ready to go and they're fired up. So it'll be good.
Let's stay in the quarterback for just a quick second here. You saw your redshirt sophomore, Parker McKenzie, go out and have the kind of a season that put him in the top 5 in the nation in passing efficiency, really as a first-time starter.
That's right.
And yet you haven't guaranteed him the starting spot in the fall. You want him to be pushed by some of these guys who have had to sit out the last few months.
That's right. I mean, to guarantee anybody anything in college football, that just doesn't happen anymore. Everybody has to go out and earn every rep. We always talk about you earn the right to play. You earn the right to get in a blitz drill. You earn the right to get on the bus. It's just because you're a good guy doesn't mean you're gonna go out there and be in the top 5 most efficient passers in the country. You got to earn it. You got to get after it, and you got to develop a resume over the long term. Not 1 or 2 good spring practices. Oh man, he finished spring really well. No, let's do spring from start to finish. Put together some consistency, and that's what everybody's looking at every position. That you just want some consistency out of your guys, and you want them to see them make that leap to the next level.
Cody Ennis and Dallas Seeley are a couple of other quarterbacks on the roster. Cade Munden is as well, but you're going to hold him out because of a recent surgery, right?
Yes, he had his labrum fixed, and he was throwing out there for the first time the other day. So I got a little bit excited on that. But he's not going to go through spring. He'll throw a little bit this spring, so which will give those other 2 young guys some opportunities to go out and see what they can do. Let's
go to the other side of the ball. On the defensive side, you say goodbye to one of the best pass rushers in ACU history, Nick Richardson, a converted linebacker to a D end his last 3 seasons. Damon Williams is also gone. You hate this when I remind you of all the guys who aren't here.
Yeah.
But Angel Lopez on the back end, along with Justin Stewart gone. This is going to be an enormous 34 days for several of these guys to step up on the defensive side, isn't it?
Oh, it's going to be fun watching them. I mean, we recruited them for a reason. We think they can play, and they can. They just a lot of them haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. But that is, man, spring football is not about It's not about a goal of winning on Saturday. It's about a goal of showing up every single day and getting better and taking pride in every single thing that they do, whether it's film study, the meetings. And we've been meeting and they've been doing some drills, but it's time to put it out there on the field. So I'm excited. I'm always in. Spring is a great time of the year because it's simply about your personnel, your people, and improving and getting the best out of them. So it's a great time for a coach.
Now, a little birdie told me that maybe you might go a little live here with some live action on the quarterbacks for these defenders.
Yes, we will. And of course, when I say that in a team setting, all the defensive guys start hooping and hollering because everybody wants to take a shot at the quarterback because they never have here. Last spring we did that in the pocket. They'll be protected, but once you get out of that pocket, because that's when a lot of times the quarterbacks make mistakes is when they get out, try to extend plays, try to do a little bit more than they probably should, and they'll be live a little bit. So
maybe that'll dissuade them from doing something too silly, right?
That's exactly right. Because you want to know that. I want to know if this guy's gonna force a ball or try a behind the back pass for some crazy reason. Then I kind of want to know that in the spring and know how to deal with that. But it's a good time for everybody.
All right, it starts on Wednesday, and as spring ball goes along, we will have interviews with and recaps, in fact, with players and coaches. ACU spring ball beginning on Wednesday. For Coach Ken Collums, I'm Grant Boone for ACUSports.com.